Hi, this is Dr. Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. So, today I'll be speaking about some things that we do wrong in relationships. Uh, and these are things that society has sometimes trained us to do. We see everybody else doing it and we think that everybody else is doing this, so it is correct. It is not right. Right? And I'll be coming from this, of course, because I'm a Christian. I'm coming at this subject from a Christian perspective, guys. And I mean, this is how it all started, but relationships have become so warped these days that it's even sad that we even have to kind of point out what are some things that we do wrong in relationships, because a lot of people have normalized these behaviors in relationships. So this is going to be speaking to both men and women, but of course, a lot of times, a lot of these will actually be for men, for women, because of some of the items that I have here. So I'll just go into it instead of rambling on. So the first one is sometimes we go into a relationship. We may have been single for a while, even if you get married early, you were single and there were things that you did on your own, right? But as soon as you get married, it's like you want your partner to satisfy your every need. It's not possible, because that person has responsibilities as well, whether it be a male or female. This can go both ways. This person they have responsibilities. They have to go to work, right? Maybe they have family they take care of. Maybe they have already kids. Who knows what could be. They have other responsibilities and other things that they were doing before they met you. No, I'm not saying that there becomes a time when you become more of a priority than the other things, depending on what they are, like not jobs or family, but other things that can take up someone's time. But what we have to do is we have to realize that you're both going to have responsibilities. And so you have to recognize that a woman was created by God to be the help help that man, right? And the man was supposed to be supportive and the head of the household. That's how God created us to be, right? So therefore, I know that nowadays, of course, women are working just as much and sometimes more than men, because they go to work and then they come home and they have the kids to take care of. But that should not also be just for the woman's responsibility, but also the men. Nowadays, I see a lot of younger couples really both participating in caring for their children, which is very encouraging. But I know in my time, it was the woman's responsibility to take care of the kids and the men would work, right? And gradually, during the last, couple decades, then we have both parties working. So, but even when both parties started working in my age group, a lot of the men still came home and just sat there and watched TV or thought that that was their downtime after work. Whereas the woman would go to work, come home, and still have to work in the house, cooking meals or whatever it is. But that can also be very cultural, it could be cultural as well. So I won't even go into that, but just recognize that your partner, it's impossible for you to expect your partner to satisfy your every need. All right? Now, there are needs that they need to satisfy, yes. But those, it's something that you should both discuss what is priority and what you guys need to feel happy and be together in a relationship, working together as a couple. So the next thing is, this kind of goes with the first one, is like expecting your partner to be your personal entertainment provider. Just take you there, take you here, take you whatever it might be all the time, not recognizing that there are other things that they may have to do. Yes, plan your trips and stuff like that, but it has to be something that you both decide to do is going to work for both of you, and not just because you feel that this person should do this for you. All right? The next thing is for women, a lot of us sometimes can really get to the place where if you're working, or if we're working, we kind of almost like treat our partners or husbands as if we don't need them, because we can hold down a job. We don't need you, kind of thing, right? A man is a man's a man knows innately that he is the provider for the home. So when you tell this man that you don't need him, that cuts down his whole, I mean, he might be working, and say, for example, he's working a job that may make less than you, and you kind of start rubbing that into the person's face. You knew that he worked less, I mean, he earned less than you before you got married, and why did you marry him if you're going to be always, pushing that in his face? And the same thing with men. If you're earning less and you knew your wife earned more, then don't try and always be in competition with her. Accept the fact that she earns more. And this, I always say to couples that when you are in a relationship, it's both of you against whatever problem it is. You're not working against, you should not be working against each other, which I see happening a lot of times. Everybody's doing their own thing. And it really comes down to selfishness. It really comes down to, and it's society. It's just that in this time in our society, we've become very selfish. And we're only the first thing we do is looking out for ourselves. We're not looking out for the good of the relationship, right? Whether it be just you and your husband, or you and your wife, but or you and your kids. You're looking about what's good for you. What do you want? And that is not what a relationship is, guys. God actually created relationships to be, it's like an iron sharpening each other. You're helping each other along, right? And there are times that no relationship is going to be perfect. Every relationship is going to have challenges, because you're two different individuals coming from two different life experiences, and now coming together as one. And so they're going to be, especially at the beginning of your relationship, and when you have to smooth out those rough edges of differences, right? And after a while, you'll find similarities, and you come together on that. And you still going to have differences, but you have to respect each other's differences, right? Because those differences are actually good, because one person might be stronger in certain things, doing something, and the other person, so you utilize each other's strength instead of trying to always fighting against each other, which is what I see a lot, guys. So this is not good for relationships, in any relationship whatsoever, right? But especially in a marital, intimate, romantic relationship, it's disaster. The next thing is, I see a lot of people expecting their partners never to change, and that is kind of like very immature, because, guys, the person you met 20 years ago is totally different than the person you have now. First of all, not only are they going to change, maybe in the way they look, for sure, their body's going to change. So that's why you should not be marrying somebody only solely for their looks, because as soon as they start changing, you're going to want to leave, right? You're going to want to jump ship, or whatever it is they call it. So, and that's not really love. That's really more lust. So be very careful about who you marry, and if this person is really only marrying you for your looks, recognize that once your looks go, that's it, right? So when somebody does not expect they marry you, and when I say expect you to change, I'm not saying you should be changing for the better. You should be growing to be better, not changing for the worse, right? Because then you were really not the person that they thought you were at the beginning. But everybody's going to change, and you should want to change. You should want to learn and be better, but not worse, but change for the better. Now, some people, of course, they change for the worse. And there are reasons why, there are things that's going to happen. You might put on weight, right, because of certain illnesses, and that should not be an excuse for that other partner to leave because you've put on weight, because maybe there's a health issue. That's I think. And even if you put on weight because you eat too much food, then that person should really be encouraging you that both of you should go work out or something. But it should always be a decision that you're making together as partners, and not to try to always be then the person might start now kind of saying horrible things to that person to make them feel bad. And people are going to change. The person you meet at 20 with their body all fit and firm and all of that, is not going to be the person that you will be married to when they're 60, guys. And you have to really come into somebody's going to get a gut or something, or they're going to have a loose skin and all that kind of stuff. The face is going to be all more wrinkly. But then I think the whole problem is that a lot of individuals marry or commit to someone for marriage for more of a lustful thing and the idea of love, but not real love, right? So be very careful about that. So you cannot go in expecting your partner to be perfect. And I'm not even talking about no physically perfect. There are things that they might have some bad, some habits that really drives you up a wall. But the thing is that you have to either really kind of assess, is this a deal? Is this something that is going to kill me? Or is you can just allow that person to have their quirk, because you're not perfect. You have to recognize that you yourself are not perfect, right? So you have to be able to tolerate certain things that are going to change, or tolerate certain things in your partner. All right. Another thing that can cause friction in a relationship is that expecting your partner to read your mind. Yes, a lot of times, when you've spent enough time together, you will be able to tell when something is wrong with your partner. You might be able to tell that something is wrong, but you might not be able to tell that what exactly is wrong. You might assume certain things, so the best thing to do is to sit down and have a conversation about it, and for both partners to be open and respectful in discussing what is wrong and how they can solve that problem. All right? So don't expect your partner to read your mind. We haven't gotten to that level yet. I think that when we all get to heaven, we can just talk without telling somebody something verbally, but we aren't there. Okay? So the next thing is expecting your partner, for women, acting like the man. You're bossing your husband around like you're the head of the house, like you're the man in the thing. Even if you're earning more money than him, he is still, God created him to be the cover over that house. He's supposed to be the man, the person in charge of that household. And now, if you went and married somebody else who could not take charge, and that's your problem. But these are the things you have to watch out for when you're actually starting a relationship with someone. Is this someone who can lead? Is this someone who can lead? Is this someone who can take control of our household, right? Not controlling in a way that is harmful, but manage it and know that you can depend on this person to really be looking out for your household in the way that God intended, right? So you have to look for these things, guys. So that energy, that masculine energy that a lot of women, and it is sometimes because women are, a lot of women are single moms, and they have to have that masculine energy to go out there and make a living and to take care of maybe children, and you're a man and woman in the household, right? But what you have to realize is that both, you have to know how to separate when you come from work and you're with your husband, that you're now the female and have that female energy, that softness that is attractive to men, that softness. No man wants you to be like, oh, tough and rough. Well, I don't know, maybe there are some, but I don't know about that. But you're supposed to be soft. Men like soft women. And just like you want your man to be masculine and in charge, somebody who can handle stuff, right? That's the same thing for men. They want their mates to be soft and feminine, all right? Now, you can, the next thing that a lot of people will do, whether it be a man or a woman, for a woman, you can emasculate your man when you curse them out in public, you insult them, you criticize them, you do horrible things like that in public. And it doesn't even matter if it's in public, but it's worse in public. You could do that at home as well, and it would still have a negative effect, right? But it's worse, of course, when you're doing it with a lot of people, everybody's, in front of his friends, in front of your friends, family members, and emasculating that. What you do is emasculate that man. The same thing is with a man with a woman. You go and you disrespect your your wife by maybe going out and chatting up a woman over the in the corner or whatever it might be. The same thing with a woman, they can do that as well. So you have to be very careful in relationships. You have to think about the other person, not just yourself, because as I say, a lot of us have been socialized to think about ourselves only. I mean, yes, when you're alone, that's fine, right? And even then, you have to think about others in certain circumstances. But when you're in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, you cannot be thinking about yourself. It's not just about you. It's not just about you. The next thing is whenever somebody does something for you, whether it be your wife or your husband, you just like you take it for granted, like. Okay, so what do you want? I should tell you thank you. Why should I tell you thank you? You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to take out the garbage. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to cook the meal. You're supposed to clean the house. You're supposed to. No. Yes, it's nice to feel that somebody's grateful for what you contribute in the household. So your husband takes out the garbage and maybe mows the lawn. Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. There doesn't take anything. Your wife cooks a nice meal. Oh, thank you, honey. That was so delicious. These things are so important to relationships because they are so easily taken for granted. And so it causes a lot of problems. And the thing is, guys, the person might not say anything about it at the time, but it's in there. It's in there. It stays there. And then it builds up and builds up and builds up to a point. And sometimes you wonder, when you might do one thing and it explodes into something really big. It's not that one thing that they're really upset about, it's all the other things combined. And now this was almost like the trigger that or the in Jamaica we say it's the thing that broke the camel's back. I can't remember what it is, needle that, I don't know, whatever they call it, that broke the camel's back. So it's the last thing that kind of like put it over the top, and they just flare up in a way that doesn't make sense, because you're thinking this little thing wasn't so bad what I said, but it's not just that little thing, it's all the other things that you may have said before, or the other things that was ignored before that they did and you didn't say thanks, or you didn't show any kind of gratitude. They buy you a nice gift and you kind of just take it and throw it down somewhere, kind of like just ungrateful, right? And disrespectful actually. I might be strange for saying this, or you might consider it strange, but men are supposed to be the ones doing the chasing. In a lot of what I do, I work with attachment styles, and I've discovered that a lot. The woman in this attachment style who is an anxious, preoccupied, will be the one who does the chasing, because it's a need. It's like they need to be in a relationship, and when they go into a relationship, this individual will actually form a bond very quickly, because it's like they just need to be in this relationship. So they push it very quickly and they go into this relationship, and it's like an instant relationship that they want. And so they want to take a time to kind of go through the whole process to get to know the person. And so a lot of individuals in this attachment style will get into serious problems because they move too fast. They gave up everything, sex, all of that, and doing wifey things when they're not wife. And so going into bed and, just preparing breakfast and food for the person and they just met them 2 days ago, that kind of thing, guys. So it's always the man. The man wants to chase. The man wants to be the person who you should allow. You should allow the man to do it. Because you know what? If you do the chasing, how do you know this person really likes you? Right? You don't really know, because you're the one actually pursuing that person, right? So what you need to do is you should, of course you acknowledge what they're doing if you really like this person, and whatever it is, be nice. But you should not be there making dates, making plans, driving to their house and say, you want to do this? Calling them, do you want to do this? Setting up dates. The man is supposed to do that. And a lot of you might disagree with me, but if you've been doing all of that stuff you've been doing, like chasing the men, tell me how that's working out for you. So these are some of the things, just some of the things that I thought I'd kind of bring up about how some of the things that really cause problems in a relationship. And I want you to kind of just pay attention to these things because, guys, at the base of any society are relationships. The relationships between a man and a woman. Because when that breaks down, then the family relationship break down. That family relationship with you, your husband and your children break down. The children see all that, they suffer through whatever you're going through and dealing with, and then that is like a domino effect all the way into society. You see these days, you see it. Nobody's paying attention to it. I don't know what is going on, but anyway, I mean, I know what is going on, but it's just sad that we see all these things and we don't recognize and try to change. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention. I hope I know that you all know this, but I hope that some of these things triggered some things or reminder in you that you will do something different in your relationships so that it can be successful. All right, guys, this is Dr. Christine, your relationship and mindset master doctor, and your leverage for change. Take care, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that as soon as I upload a new video, you will be notified. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.